everyone. Welcome back to the Reside Platform Podcast. I'm your host today, Suneet Agarwal, and I'm super excited to hang out with Ally Burnett today. She's the co-team leader of the Secure Home Finder team in South Carolina, which she runs with her husband, who'll be on soon, Andrew. So the Burnetts have built their business around technology, taking care of client privacy, which is big, and creating a more secure, relationship driven home buying and selling experience. We're going to talk about building trust online, especially in this crazy online AI world we're in, leading as partners, and how to create a client journey that feels both high tech and high touch. Let's jump right in. Allie, what's cracking?
Doing that work thing. We're at the office, and I'm excited to be at the podcast.
Yes. How often do you go to the office?
Honestly, like 4 or 5 days a week. There was a time where we were working out of our home office, and we still have one. But as we have grown our team with Reside, we went from 5 agents to 15 agents in like 6 months, maybe less. We had to get an office space.
Awesome. How's that growth been for you?
It's been good. I'd be lying if I didn't say it was a little stressful, but have all my friends that reside that have helped support us along the way.
Listen to all those shout outs in the first minute. All right. Good. You even got the shirt on. Good.
And that's why I'm a favorite.
Yeah. You guys, this episode is going to be a lot of fun because me and Allie are homies. So good. Right. There it is, Allie. Now I said it twice.
Oop. And it's recorded, and the world will see it.
All right. All right. Let's get started. Um, how did you and your husband end up building this team together?
Good question. So, Andrew and I, fun fact, we got married in 50 days from the time that we met until the time that we got married. So, he already had the
Wow.
team before we even got married. I was actually working full time, and it just kind of came to a point where, just with like family life, and as the team started to grow, and Andrew was buying, I don't know, like 300 leads a month for himself, it became too much. And so I ended up kind of partnering with him. And I don't know, it's happened really organically, honestly.
Awesome. Um, how do you guys, because, and you know this, there's lots of husband and wife teams in real estate and in reside, right? Um, how do you guys divide roles? This is going to be a funny answer. So the business runs smoothly without stepping on each other's toes.
Great question. And we've actually talked to some other people that are thinking of maybe, doing it with their partner. And we always tell them, like, test it out a little bit, like, don't quit your job. So it took me, I don't know, like a year and a half of us being married before like we felt like we were at a good spot where we could both work together. We
Mhm.
both have different backgrounds, and so because of that, like we kind of just we play off each other, right? So like yes, we're working in the business collectively, but we also kind of have like our own separate silos that we're doing things, and then we come together. But I think the main thing is you have to have alignment on the top, right? So we may not always know what our goal is, but we know what we want, like somewhat what we want our outcome to be. And we're very aligned on how we want the team to run, how we want our day-to-day to look like, and what we need to do to get there. And once we kind of have that roadmap, like, that is what has really helped us become successful, I think.
I love that. Um, it's funny, right? I mean, I've been married. Well, it's not funny. It's interesting. Um, my wife and I have spoken about her coming into the business, and we've never been able to find alignment on a way to make it work. Here I am, this fancy coach, coaching couples in business, but yeah, like, what do you think people get wrong there?
Well, it takes some humility, right? Because when you are already, and I give Andrew like a lot of credit for that, right? Because when you're already running a successful business, and then now you want to grow, but like you could do everything. Like Andrew doesn't need me. Like I'll be the first to say he doesn't need me. But like there are parts of the business that, like, he didn't enjoy doing. So it's like,
Sure.
okay, like, what do you enjoy doing? What do I enjoy doing? And, like, lucky for us, they really weren't the same things.
Yes. Yes. I love that. So find your lane and stick to it.
Yeah, and where your
How
strengths
often
are,
what's that?
and where your strengths are.
Yeah, good point. How often does work come home with you guys?
Oh. Define come home. Define that.
Laying in bed about to go to bed and can you believe so and so did so and so
Oh, every day. That's all we talk about.
every
People
day?
Oh, yeah, every day. But it's never like, sometimes we do argue about work, and I think we argue about more work more in the beginning. Um, but more it's just like us laying in bed and we're like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Oh, I looked this thing up. We're watching videos, we're watching, watching your content. Hey, did you see this? Did you see that? Like it's more of just like a conversation. Like I think for some people, um, work is work. And
Right? I remember maybe my second year as an agent, I was crushing. And my eldest daughter was a baby, and like work life balance, work was like a big buzz topic. First time I heard about it. And I really went down that journey until I found Tony Robbins actually that said work life integration. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but my favorite hobby is working,
it's
right?
funny you say that. Yeah, because someone asked me the other day, well, maybe how could you, share your hobbies with your clients? And I'm like, well, they're not real estate agents, so I don't really know.
Yeah, exactly. Something that stands out about you guys is like your intent, your strong intention to protect clients' privacy online, right? You talk a lot about building relationships before someone's ready to buy. Sometimes like nurturing leads, which is building the relationship, fancy talk, right? For months or years, which is hard, right? How do you nurture? What's the secret to effective nurture without a bunch of pressure?
Sure. I don't think there's really any secret. It's the only secret is consistency. So, I think that the main thing is you got to have your systems and structures, right? So, obviously making sure you have a CRM, making sure you're cleaning your database, making sure you have good stages, that people are staged properly.
Yes,
So like that is a key to it, right? Because you want to make sure that you and your agents are identifying things properly when you're talking to them on the phone because if someone's buying next week versus 3 years from now, the cadence is not going to be the same.
sure.
So I would say one, making sure that your pipeline is good and making sure that you're managing that like within Follow Up Boss, or if you don't know how to do that, hire someone that can help you manage it within Follow Up Boss. Making sure that like you know your cadence, right? Like it's not just like random or like, oh yeah, I was thinking of Sneeze. Like, let me call them. Like it needs to be very, very thought out, methodical, and on a good cadence, really.
Yeah, I love that. Um, so you guys are like have this like ecosystem, right? Where you guys want like to envelop the clients with their resources, right? How did he go about building like that network that you can trust to refer to people?
Sure. Sometimes we kind of think of ourselves as concierge.
Oh, I
So
like that
yeah,
concierge.
so concierge. So from start to finish, right? Because we're in a second home market. And so when you're in a second home market, sometimes people are just coming down here on vacation. So like the first step is finding out when you coming here again. Can I meet you while you're here? Even if we don't look at houses, setting up like that first buyer consult, putting a face to a name. Then from there, you could do virtuals. And also too, like leveraging your team. So for us, when we talk to clients, we tell them we have 18 agents on our team. We can serve you from Wilmington, North Carolina, all the way down to Georgetown, South Carolina, all the way out to Tabor City, North Carolina. And so if like we have a lady right now, she's in town for 3 months. And so she has no clue where she wants to go. So we're gonna set up an itinerary for her um in like basically like 1 hour pockets. And she's gonna
Oh,
meet with
cool.
one of our agents in each one of those pockets. And we're gonna have to work out the money later and see who wins the deal, right? But being able to give that service, because a lot of agents, if you're just a single agent out there in the world, or you're a small team, like you probably can't do that.
Totally. Yeah, that's really good. What other like what other challenges do you think is it that come about from being in a second home market? Because I'm not in one.
Um, a few things. Not a lot of urgency, because a
Mm,
lot of people that are moving here, it's a either a second home or perhaps a retirement home. So we have kind of talked about people, talked with people about this. It's this buzzword. I don't know. It's called pre-retirement. So we've talked to people about
I
this
haven't heard that.
pre-retirement, right? Because if our appreciation here is really good, and so it's one of the top 5 places in America to retire. So because of that, like waiting 3 years could cost you 40, 50 grand.
Wow.
So when you break that up over a mortgage, like it probably wasn't worth it. Like you probably should buy now. So I would say lack of motivation is part of it. I would say the other part too is like, there's a lot of agents in markets that can do open houses. Um, and that could work. But like here, the person that's buying their house is in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Maryland, New Jersey, those
Mhm.
places. So like really like getting ahead of it. So like Andrew does a great job on like coming up with those long tail keywords to try and get that person that's thinking about coming down here before they're even here. Because by the time they're here, they're probably already working with an agent. So that's
Sure.
part of that building the trust over the course of time, because sometimes we don't meet people till 3, 4 years later. But we've been talking to them that whole time on the phone. They feel like they know us. Um, so I hope that it kind of answers it.
Yeah, no, that's super good. Um, for the team leaders out there listening, what advice do you have for them to create a business like yours, growing and able to manage multiple places and working with your spouse? Although we already talked about those tips, but about just the team leader listening right now.
Well, step one, stop doing it on your own. You need to connect with people that have already done it before. What we realize and what we tell people all the time is like we wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars, like an embarrassing an amount of money trying to figure out different things on our own. And I think most of it was good, a lot of it was right, but was it the quickest and most effective way? Probably not. So, plugging in with people that know what they're doing, having a coach, or like in the case of Reside, having multiple coaches, multiple different, professionals leaning in different ways. Like that's one thing I love about Reside, because, like you have a different background than John, and John has a different background than Mia. And so being able to kind of like listen to everybody in like Brooke and Lauren, I mean, TC background. So it just, like they're in the weeds, like they've been in the weeds. So try to connect with people that have already done it. And that would be my number one suggestion. And then on the marriage thing, we kind of talked about it, but I think making sure that you're in alignment. Like there are even some teams that are um like 2 different, like I think out in Arizona, Kathy and Anna, yeah. Like, they're 2 women that are working together, but they
Mom
have
and daughter,
alignment.
yeah.
Yeah. So they have alignment. So the main thing is having alignment, because that's what's gonna equal success.
Yes, and for everyone listening, I did a great episode with Kathy Courtney a while back. So if you want to hear what Kathy had to say about working with her daughter, make sure you go back and listen to that episode.
They're
Um,
fun.
now, mom, motherhood. How many kids do you have?
We have 4.
You have 4 kids. So let me get this straight. You run this business and you're a mom of 4 kids.
Yep.
Do you sleep?
Not that much. And no nanny. No nanny, people.
What's the secret?
Time blocking, time management, church? I don't know, like
Church. Pray a lot. Yeah. I mean, like, look, so time blocking and time management, is that really like something that really helps you?
yeah, for sure. I have to, because, like, and one of our kids, like our youngest one, she's chronically sick. Like I have to take her to therapy 5 to 6 times a week. So, like, on top of working, on top of the other 3 kids, I have to take her to therapy. So, making sure, like, in the morning, I'm doing our recruiting calls, I'm doing all of our, follow-up, I'm meeting with our agents, like, everything is pretty much to a T.
Good. And that's the secret to life, ladies and gentlemen, is have a plan and stick to the plan. Right? I don't know, for people listening and watching to this who have followed me for however many years, or maybe it's new. Like I talk about this a lot because a lot of my success comes to time blocking and actually doing the shit. Let's talk about recruiting. What's
Okay.
your favorite part about recruiting agents?
When they sign the contract and they're really excited to join the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, go ahead.
aren't you making a bunch of recruiting calls?
Yeah, I mean, at least a 5 a day for sure.
Good.
Um, I will tell you that, we're pushing and pushing our agents to make calls and call leads. And for people like Andrew and I, it comes naturally, it's no problem, it's very comfortable. I feel like the recruiting calls have been uncomfortable. Um, but, like, what has continued to drive me is, like, I know that we're sitting on an abundance of leads and way too much opportunity and not enough agents. And there's agents out there that, like, need to feed their family and need
Totally.
to, like, sell property. And so, like, that's what kind of keeps me going. And it's really exciting, like, when we have someone that, and we're honored that somebody trusted us to help guide them
It's a
into
big
real
deal.
estate. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Like, as leaders, we have a fiduciary duty to the people that we lead. And that's such an honor, number one. And number two, like, there's a lot of trust. And like, we don't want to let anybody down. I feel the same way about people like you, right? Is we got a big fiduciary duty and we want to see the best for people, especially if they're doing what it takes. How is making the calls? How long did it take you to get used to get comfy and calling, making the recruiting calls?
Work in progress. Like, I'm still not comfy with the get comfy. Like, it's still slightly awkward. But,
Is it
I mean,
awkward?
yeah, because it doesn't come natural really. And, like, it works. There's a cadence to it. There's a reason why you do it. I understand that there's, like, a way higher methodology, psychology behind it that's, like, way past my pay grade. And so I've just kind of trusted in it. Um, Yeah, I'm still not comfortable. That's the truth. That's the honest truth.
Yeah. So, I mean, all that means is reps.
Yeah,
Right. So, as also your coach, here's a coaching moment. So, do you have the darn GPT I made for the get comfy calls?
I do.
Did
I
you,
do.
do you ever use it?
I have, I was actually gonna ask Andrew if he can change the voice because I kinda don't like the voice on it. Can you do that?
I think
That's,
you
like, such
can.
a
Yeah.
petty thing, but
I mean, we got some other people in Reside, probably many people in Reside, many people, period. Let me just change that, who don't like making calls. There's phone aversion, maybe some fear, maybe some discomfort, right? And I get it. Um, so several of them have told me that before they start a calling block, even if it is 5 calls per day, they fire up that AI, make a couple fake calls, get the heebie-jeebies out, get loose, and then get on the phone. What do you think about that, Al?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a good, like, it's like a warm up before the game. And the other thing too, like, I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but we're in a brokerage with 600 agents. So, like, me just sitting here since we've been on this podcast, I've had 3 people knock on my door. They are not on our team. So we do have a little bit of road traffic near our office, so that does help. And sometimes I do count that into my 5 calls because it's a face to face and I'm having the
Yeah,
conversation.
count it. Count it. And that's one of the things for everybody listening. I discovered this when I first started my team, and I was at a larger Keller Williams office at the time. And like a lot of my recruiting was done from people who just joined the brokerage, right? There was a lot of opportunity there. So if you are in a larger organization, even cloud based, Like there's opportunities within your own company to recruit. Um, you just have to use the same principles that we teach every day, right?
Agree, agree. And one thing I will say that has been mind blowing for me, I never thought until like the last couple weeks that people from other brokerages and other teams would refer other agents to our team
Yes.
through recruiting. And like one thing that I have started doing too, like when I'm calling my leads and they've already bought a house with someone, I ask them, "Hey, who did you buy a house with? Were they a good agent? Like tell me about that person." And at first they're a little skeptical and I say to them, "Listen, some of the best people we've recruited are actually from leads that we weren't able to close." And then I call that agent and I'm like, "Hey, I just talked to ABC person and they said you were an awesome agent and I would love to get to know you." And then, I jump into the get comfy script, of course, but like I tell them, like, "Hey, I just
Yes,
talked
I
to this
love that, Allie. You never told me that. That's fire.
thanks."
Yeah, good. Um, what do you think? I'm just bouncing questions off you. Okay, so
Okay.
what do you think clients value most when working with an agent or a team? When they're looking to work with an agent or a team?
I would say collective knowledge. So, like in our market, there's lots of small towns that encompass one general area, and each
Sure.
one of those small towns are very, very different. And so, I think clients really value because, especially because those people are coming from that northeast area, and they may not know the difference between the different towns. Like they really value working with people that know a lot of information about each one to help them make the best decision possible.
Okay, yeah, good. Collective knowledge. I love that. And for people listening, like lean on your team or brokerage, right? It doesn't, you don't have to be the solo person, no matter if you are solo, right? Like I remember when I was new, I would say, yeah, we sold however many tons of houses because I was leaning on the brokerage, leaning on the team. So don't forget about that. Can I just mention, I love Myrtle and I love Charleston. I haven't been to Carolina in almost 2 years.
Really?
Wild Dunes. Have you ever talked about Wild Dunes?
I mean, so before I was full time in real estate, I was on the executive team at the largest HOA management company in North America, and that was part of my territory. But that's like way far away. That's like 2 hours from us. Like that's
But you
not
guys are in
even we don't even
Myrtle,
have
right?
access. Yeah, we don't even have access to the MLS where Wild Dunes is
How
located.
much mini golf do you play?
None. Only if the kids, like, beg. Or, like, sometimes, like, I'll get coupons, like, like, 1 round free with the purchase of a round, like, then we may go, but, like, outside of that, no.
Are you from Myrtle?
Yeah.
Born and raised.
Yep, born and raised. Yep,
How was
my
that?
whole family. I mean, fine. I feel like I've never really lived anywhere else other than here, and then I went to the University of South Carolina, which is only a couple hours down the road, but I guess fine. All my family's here, like, I even still have a great grandma that is alive and lives here.
Oh, dude, that beach in Carolina is so awesome.
No.
No?
Send
I
me to
love
Aruba. I need clear water. I need to see my
Yeah, okay,
toes.
okay. I'm not saying I'm getting in the ocean. I'm saying that the beach is super nice.
You know, I just we don't get out there. And then the other thing too with kids, it's stressful. The beach is like the most stressful place with kids, especially
You're
little
right.
kids.
You're right. And then they get sand everywhere and everyone has to get a shower. Yeah, you're right. Long
Well,
hair, sand in the hair, sand everywhere, right? It's
yeah, and like, the 6-year-old, she's way smaller than our other kids that are 14, 12, and 11. So she's trying to go like way out in the water with the
yeah,
big
that is
kids.
stressful.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
stressful.
okay. Good.
Yeah,
So
it's a no for me.
you gave me some advice for team leaders. What's some advice you have for agents?
Good question. Good question. Agents, if you're listening, it's okay to be a really successful single agent. No one is taking that away from you when you join a team. Joining a team is taking what you already have and amplifying it. And so I
Yeah,
think if more single agents started thinking about teams in that way, or like one thing Andrew kind of says to agents, they're like, hey, he's like, hey, how much are you spending every month on your CRM and your dot loop and buying leads and whatever? And like a lot of times, like the amount of money that they're putting in versus the amount of money that they're making, it's not a 50-50 split, I can tell you that.
totally. Right. People forget that. Good. Good advice. So, second to last question. What's next for you guys in the secure home finder team?
In what way? Do you mean as far as our team collectively, Andrew and I?
What are you excited about?
Well, one thing I'm excited about is we started our own podcast, the Buyer's Box podcast,
Yes.
and that has been really exciting for us. We have some awesome people that are going to be on our podcast. Hopefully, you will be coming on our podcast, and
You
we
don't
have
have a
lots of people.
schedule.
Lots of people from Reside are coming on our podcast. That's exciting for like Andrew and I. And as far as the team, we're continuing to grow. We're really looking for some North Carolina agents because we have like literally thousands of leads. You'll laugh at this. So I decided I was like, hey, let's try our system in North Carolina. So I was like, I'm gonna get my North Carolina license. Let's start from zero. Let's see how quickly I can close a deal while doing everything else. Well, within 60 days, I had pending. So then we were like, okay, this works. And so Andrew was like, okay, I just bought 2,500 leads. And I was like, I'm only one person, dude. What are you, what are you doing? So we're definitely going to be expanding into North Carolina because we have way too many opportunities. And right now, only myself and one other agent she's one of our top agents. So she's already busy here. I think that's probably the next exciting thing is North Carolina and hopefully coaching. We're working on our way to coaching.
Good, good, good. She keeps on putting it out there. You guys, Allie does not stop. So that's one thing that I love about you. Um, if somebody wants to send you a referral for our business or talk more about you or find out more about your guys' new podcast, which I've been watching you guys, sounds awesome. So way to go. Where do they go?
Well, that's a great question. We're still in progress. Hopefully, our coach Suneet can help us come up with a really good landing page for our collective efforts here. But for now, you can just email me ally@securehomefinder.com, and I can get all the resources. And if we're on Facebook, feel free to message me. Follow us on our Buyer Box podcast page, or we do have a Secure Home Finder page website too, like a securehomefinderteam.com and our Facebook page, and we give 30% referrals.
Yeah. So make sure to send all your referrals in the Carolinas. I don't care where it is in the Carolinas. Send it to the Burnett's. How about that?
Good with me. We have referral partners, like agents that we work exclusively with in literally every corner of North and South Carolina.
Awesome. Love that. Well, guys and Allie, thank you so much for being here today. This was a lot of fun. We didn't even talk that much smack to each other, so we kept it professional.
It's
Everybody,
recorded.
yeah, it is evidence. If you enjoyed this episode, everybody, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review so you never miss a future conversation. Be sure to check out the links in the description to learn more about Ally and all the cool stuff they're doing at the Secure Home Finder team. My name is Suneet Agarwal. Thanks for listening to the Reside Platform Podcast, and I'll see you next time. Peace.